Good morning, students. We are going to learn lecture 3 of unit 3, divisibility theory and canonical decompositions in algebra and number theory. Today our topic is prime and composite numbers. Definition of a prime number. A positive integer p greater than 1 is called a prime if its only positive factors are 1 and p. Composite numbers. If a p greater than 1 is not a prime, then it is a composite number. It is obvious that integer n is composite if and only if there exists an integer a such that a divides n and then n must be in between 1 to n. Example for prime. 5 is prime because its only positive factors are 1 and 5. But 6 is a composite number because it has 2 and 3 as factors. So note by definition, the integer 1 is neither a prime nor a composite number. We'll see theorems under prime and composite numbers. First theorem. Every integer n greater than equal to 2 has a prime factor. So we have to prove this theorem by using strong induction. That is, if you take some k number of terms, it will have a prime factor. So by strong induction method is, we are going to prove not only up to k, we are going to check for k plus 1. So when you prove the given statement is true for k plus 1, it is obviously true for k. So this is the thing of by strong induction method. The given statement is clearly true when n equal to 2. So now assume it is true for every positive integer up to k number of terms. So it is here every integer n greater than equal to 2. So n equal to 2 has a prime number. So this is clearly when true for n equal to 2. So just 2 already it is true. Now we are taking some positive integers up to k, where this n must be less than equal to k, where the k is always greater than equal to 2. To prove it is true for k plus 1, case 1, if k plus 1 is a prime number, then k plus 1 is a prime factor of itself. Case 2, if k plus 1 is not a prime, that means k plus 1 must be a composite number. So composite number means what? It will have factors. So it must have a factor like d less than equal to k. Obviously the factors will be less than the number. So d less than equal to k. Then by inductive hypothesis, d is a factor. So d has a prime factor of p. So p is a factor of, I can write k plus 1 factor. P is a factor of k plus 1. Thus, by strong version of induction, the statement is true for greater than equal to 2. So since by the induction method we have proved p is a factor of k plus 1, I can tell that it is true for every integer greater than equal to 2. Thus every integer greater than 2 has a prime factor. So hence the proof. Now we will see the next theorem. Prove that there are infinitely many primes. So this theorem can be proved by taking contradiction. So here the contradictive way, we assume there is only finite number of primes. Because it was given infinitely, I am taking finite number of primes. What are the primes? P1, P2 up to Pn we have taken. Consider the integer capital N is equal to P1, P2, Pn up to the n number of terms, n number of primes plus 1. Since n is greater than equal to 2, we know that every integer n greater than equal to 2 has a prime factor by theorem 1. So assuming this, therefore n is divisible by some prime pi. So where I lies between 1 to n. Now, n is divisible by some prime pi means the pi divides n and pi divides, what is n? It has Pi divides n means Pi divides the set all the primes up to n, P1, P2 up to Pn. That means from these two statements I can tell Pi divides n minus P1, P2 up to Pn. So actually what is this? N equal to P1, P2 up to Pn plus 1. So from here on substituting, I can write Pi divides the n minus P1, P2, Pn is nothing but 1 by the previous slide, which is impossible. Pi, any prime number divides 1, which is impossible. It cannot be done. So by our assumption, what we have assumed, we have taken the finite number of primes. So our assumption is false. So there are infinitely many primes. So the result of this theorem, every composite number n has a prime factor less than or equal to root n. Problems. First problem, determine whether 1601 is a prime or not. So solution, first the given number is 1601. First we find all primes less than equal to square root of 1601. So which is the nearest number of 1601? So here I can find out 1600 I can take. What is square root of 1600? Which is 40. But a square root of 1601 you cannot find. So we have to take the nearest square root number 1600 and take the square root, we get 40. Now take the primes which are less than 40. So write down all the primes up to less than equal to 40. 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, 23, 29, 31 and 37. Now we can verify that none of them is a factor of 1601 because we have taken all the primes which is less than 40. But a 40 square is 1600. So obviously the square root of 1601 will not be less than 40 prime numbers. So we can verify that none of them is a factor of 1601. So it cannot be less than 40 primes. It will be obviously more than 40 primes only. Therefore 1601 is a prime, we say. Second problem, find the smallest prime factor of 119. So we'll see the solution. Given number is 119. We have to find the smallest prime 119. First we find all primes which is less than equal to 119, which is the nearest square number to 119. You should take less than that. So that is 100 you can take. 100 is square root of 100 value is 10. The primes which are less than 10 are 2, 3, 5, 7. So we can find, here you can check, is 2 divides 119? No. 3 divides 119? No. 5 divides 119? No. But see, look at 7. 7 divides 119. Yes, it is divides. So the smallest prime number which dividing 119 is 7. So that is the smallest prime number of 119. That prime number has to divide 119. Third problem, using the formula for pi of n, find the number of primes less than equal to 100. Solution, we have to find the number of primes which is less than equal to 100. So what is your n value here? N equal to 100. So that is 100, and find out the square root of n, that is equal to 10. So the primes which are less than equal to 10 are 2, 3, 5, 7. Now find out, we have to find out pi of n. So first we will find out pi of square root of 100. That is nothing but square root of 100 is 10. But what are the primes which are less than equal to 10? We got only 4 primes. 2, 3, 5, 7. So the total number of primes only, then pi is nothing but the product of primes. Number of primes we say pi, that is equal to 4 primes are existing. So it is 4. Next, we should find out pi of n. So, pi of n is a formula n minus 1 plus pi of root n minus summation n by pi plus summation n by pi into pj minus summation n by pi into pj into pk. Now, here n value we want to find out for 100. So, 100 can be substituted. But what is this sigma of n by pn, pi? This what is the I range? I ranges from 1 to 4 because we have found out only 4 primes which is less than 10. So you should take up to I equal to 1 to 4. N by P1, N by P2, N by P3, N by P4. Same way here also P1, 2, P2, 3, P3, 4, P4, 1, like that we have to expand. So here, so when you expand n equal to 100, 1 and here square root of pi of square root of n already we got 4 and this here 100 by P1. What is P1? First prime 2. 100 by P2. The second prime 3. 100 by P3 5. 100 by P4 it is 7. So 4 primes we have written in the denominator. Next one sigma of n by pi into pj. That is 100 by P1 first prime 2, second prime 3. So 100 by 2 into 5, then 100 by 2 into 7, then 100 by 3 into 5, then 100 by 3 into 7, 100 by, write down all possible products, 100 by 5 into 7, then minus sigma of n by pi, pj, pk. So that is P1, P2 up to last number pk. So that is 2, 3, 5. 2, 5, 7, 3 numbers, 3 product of primes we have to write it in the denominator. So we have written 2, 3, 5, 2, 5, 7, 2, 3, 7, 2, 3, 5, 7, 3, 5, 7. All possible ways we have written. So on simplifying this one, we will get 103 minus 50 plus 33 plus 20 plus 14 and 16 plus 10. On adding all the values, we get pi of 100 equal to 25. So therefore, the number of primes less than equal to 100 is 25. Next, we will see consecutive composite numbers. The result is for every positive integer n, there are n consecutive integers that are, formula is n plus 1 factorial plus 2, n plus 1 factorial plus 3 and so on up to n plus 1 factorial plus n plus 1. So we'll see a problem based on this consecutive composite numbers. Fourth one, find 5 consecutive composite numbers and solution for this. Here I will take n equal to 5 because it was given we have to find out 5 consecutive composite numbers. Now we know that 5 consecutive composite integers are, we write the formula n plus 1 factorial plus 2, n plus 1 factorial plus 3, n plus 1 factorial plus 4, n plus 1 factorial plus 5 up to 6. Because when you start from n as 1, we get up to 5 numbers. Here we starting adding with 2, then 3, then next number 4, next 5 and 6. Totally we get 5 numbers. 5 terms we should find out. Put n equal to 5 in the formula, we get n plus 1 factorial plus 2 is equal to n is 5, n plus 1, 6 factorial plus 2 which is 720 plus 2, we get 722. Then second term n plus 1 factorial plus 3. Put n equal to 5 and we get on adding 6 factorial 720 plus 3 we get 723. Then n plus 1 factorial plus 4 we can find out. Put n equal to 5. 6 factorial plus 4 is equal to 720 plus 4 that is 724. Then n plus 1 factorial plus 5 can be written as 6 factorial plus 5 is equal to 720 plus 5 which is equal to 725. Last n plus 1 factorial plus 6 is equal to 6 factorial plus 6 is equal to 720 plus 6 we get 726. Therefore, the 5 consecutive composite numbers are, the first number is 722, 723, 724, 725, 726. So, fifth problem, find 6 consecutive composite numbers. Here given 6 consecutive composite numbers, so n equal to 6 we will take. We know that 6 consecutive composite integers are, we can write all the factors n plus 1 plus starting from 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, totally you are getting 6 factors. Now we will calculate the values of each term. N plus 1 factorial plus 2 is equal to 7 factorial plus 2, that is 5040 plus, that is when you put 6 here, 6 plus 1, 7. 7 factorial is 5040 plus 2, that is equal to 5042. Then you put n equal to 6 in the second term, we will get 5043. Then in the third term, on substituting n equal to 6, we get 5044. Then n plus fourth term, n plus 1 factorial plus 5, substituting the value, we get 5045. N plus 1 factorial plus 5 is equal to 7 factorial plus 5. You get 5040 plus 5 is equal to 5045. So the last term, n plus 1 factorial plus 6 is equal to 7 factorial plus 6 is equal to, so we get a 5046, and one more term adding with the 7, we get a 5047. So the 5 consecutive composite numbers are 5042, 5043, 5044, 5045, 5046 and 5047. So conclusion of this topic, prime and composite numbers. We have studied a prime and composite numbers. What do you mean by prime? A prime number has a divisors 1 and the number itself. And what are composite numbers? Composite numbers will have factors which is less than that number. We have seen theorems, 2 theorems on prime numbers and the theorem based problems. Then consecutive composite numbers we have seen. Under that we have learnt about the consecutive composite number problems. Thank you, students.